Gentlemen, are you ready to witness history? The GAV01 unboxing, and oh my goodness, it's in a burlap sack. Who would have imagined that a innovative, futuristic watch is in a burlap sack? Dadgum, look at that thing. This has like really like aggressive styling. Look at all that. Wow. All right. So we're dealing with an analog watch. Okay. But those are some unusual hands. This face, totally different than what we're used to seeing. For example, I have the Mudman on right now, the GW9500, and it has crenellations, right? Typical of G-Shock. But look at these. Look at these crenellations. It's like teeth on a lamprey eel. This domed glass, look at that, it's domed. It's well protected. Right here, these hard plastic. Should I even call these crenellations? This is something else. How many of them are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's infinity. I'll never stop counting. There's 12. I know, I'm just joking with you guys. Look at that. And there's holes here for ventilation. That's amazing. Oh, and look, no lugs, right? This screw's holding on the band, right? And it's all integrated. There's like two parts. So this is like a watch. I think it was the GAV-01, right? That had an integrated band right into the bezel, I guess you'd call it. Now you look at the back. This looks a lot like, you know, your G-Shock, typical G-Shock with a screwed in case back, right? But innovative design. And now the moment of truth, does it even fit? All right, 8.5-inch wrist here. Oh yeah, just fits. All right, but I'm glad it does. It's like, you know, when I heard that G-Shock's coming out with this like new styled watch, you know, obviously for you know, the younger demographic, I was thinking that they'd make the band smaller, but thankfully G-Shock, a lot of their watches coming out now have longer bands. But I would definitely say 8.5 inches is the furthest extent you're going to get on this one, right? And truth be told, the Mudman squished my left wrist. My right wrist is still a bona fide 8.5 inches. I'll do that test later. But I just want to tell you that this plastic's nice and soft, right? The comfort level on this, I think, is pretty good, right? Like last week I was wearing the Gravity Master, right? And while, you know, the band, like in the dimensions are pretty good in terms of comfort. Like this plastic is not as soft as I thought it would be. And this plastic has like this nice kind of like, you know, like texture to it, right? And the buckle's plastic, the tangs are plastic, right? The keeper is like the same material as the band. Good, it's pretty supple. I like the band, and I like this ventilation hole. Right? It looks like a blowhole on a whale, right? This is like an orca, kind of. If they gave it some white spots, it would be a killer whale. All right, button time. Ready? This is a really good press, right? So this button is like, that's a hard plastic button, right? And so, of course, we're dealing with the negative LCD, all right? And, you know, so kind of difficult to see, but right now I'm in stopwatch mode. Alarms, and back to the time, right? When did I switch over? The second time zone, stopwatch. All right. So this is a lot like, function-wise, this is very similar to like your Casio. All right. So the GAB2100 that I have right here has those same functions and a little LCD subdial. And this watch has that same type of LCD subdial, but it's bigger, right? So therefore it should be easier to read, except that it's a negative screen, right? If I get these hands out of the way, there's another subdial on the left side that has a similar type of idea where you have a hand pointing at whatever functions you're on. See, I get the hands to move out of the way. It might be a trick. I do not know it. This is an unboxing video and not a comprehensive rundown. So we can move those hands out of the way. And speaking of the hands, look at that shape. It's like, you know how in Rolex and I think some other luxury watches, they have like a Mercedes-Benz like pointer, I think on the hour hand. Well, this one has that type on both hands. Right, now in terms of legibility, will this help you acquire the time? I don't know. I mean, looking at the time, obviously it's not set to the correct time yet, but you can see that it is like 10 to 11, right? So 10:50, or 10:49 to be exact. And yeah, I guess you couldn't be exact. So, all right, so this protection, this like crenellated part, also serves as the indices. I think that's a pretty cool idea, because you think like, you know, G-Shock, they like their 3D indices, right? So these indices are sunk way down in. And, you know, you get a lot of legibility, even though like these colors aren't high contrast, you can, your brain can work out where the minute hand is pointing based on the 3D, like the depth of the 3D indices, right? So it's the same thing on this watch, but that indices is raised up out of the watch. And so those indices also serve as your crenellations to protect that glass. That's pretty cool, all right? And what I like about G-Shock, they are substance over style, right? Like, that's why I love the Mudman. People say it's ugly, but a lot of the features of it are functional to protect the watch, okay? So I got to say that I think that's cool that you know, I called it a lamprey eel. It looks like teeth on a lamprey eel. And you know, I've heard all sorts of people say what this reminds them of, like the whole watch, this whole like unusual design. But I mean, function wise, this is pretty cool, right? So it's protecting the screen. And how about drainage? I don't know. We'd have to find out. I mean, like, the glass is domed, and then there's like the bezel, the outer bezel, and the outer bezel has markers on it too. So all of these indices look to be about the same size. So you think about it, there'd be like, you know, one indice, say this is for the 15 minute, 16 minute, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Looks like there's two indices in between, or two little markers in between each of these raised indices, right? And so some of the G-Shock watches, like the Gravity Master, like the 12 and the 6 here aren't indices. And so in terms of precision, sometimes like you can get fooled because like the 9 and the 3 are bigger indices, right? But these indices are all the same size. Am I rambling on? Is this a word salad? It's my trademark word salad, right? All right, so this is a bumper that protects the buttons from accidental button pressing. And then you have these, I guess, are just decoration, right? But it could probably misdirect blows from the watch, right? These bumps. So that's pretty cool. I think that I like this innovative design. To be honest, I don't really know if it's my style. Like, this might be for a younger demographic, you know? Like, I'm a middle-aged man, so I'm not a fashion icon, nor was I ever. Even when I was a young man, I was all into, you know, your flannel shirts and cargo pants and boots, right? So that's what I've always worn. And there was a brief period of time in my life where that was really popular. The hipsters made it popular. The hipsters made my clothes popular. Haven't heard much about hipsters lately. Anyways, let me rip this off. The string. Get the string out of here from this plastic buckle. Plastic buckle. And you got a bunch of notches, right? Notch count. Probably a little bit wider than this Mudman GW9500. Now, the most comfortable G-Shock watch, in my opinion, is this GBDH 2000. All right, so let's just size compare it, and it looks like roughly same dimensions, but the GBDH 2000 allows for this more articulation here in the band, right? So this GAV01 does have a forced downward band, like a lot of G-Shocks do. However, pretty wide watch crotch, and that's just what I call it. It's a technical term, not meant to be vulgar, but the distance measured between two legs or two branches of a tree is called the crotch, right? So this watch crotch is pretty wide, right? And the band is longer than I expected. Not the longest, all right? No, like the GBDH 2000 has a very long band. So this band is not, well, holding it together, it looks the same. But when I put this GBDH 2000 on, there's like a lot of extra notches. And when I put this GAV-01 on, there was not much left in terms of notches. I believe that I had it on the last notch, all right? Now, one thing I'm going to say about this, like the whole styling, like I said, I think it might be for younger generation, you know, like, these two subdials together look like cool eyes. And so when G-Shock started teasing this watch, they had all this like promotional material, most of it in China actually, of just the eyes. And I actually thought that this would be a Sonic the Hedgehog collaboration watch based on the fact that Sonic the Hedgehog has those eyes, right? So those types of eyes, they're like those edgy, aggressive eyes. Back in the 90s, there was like, you know, those bumper stickers. What were they, like No Fear, I think it was, or you know, like Bad Dudes or something like that. I can't remember. You guys remember those bumper stickers? Those of you who were around in the 90s, they're like on the back of Hondas with the loud exhausts. Anyways, I just noticed that I got the hands out of the way, so you can see this left subdial has like, you know, like alien looking dots displayed here for some reason. And these hands, you know, are out of the way. So somehow I got the hands out of the way, and maybe it's just showing the incorrect time. But scrolling through all of this, it seems, so far, it seems to be similar in function to the Casio. Well, my first impressions are that this is pretty comfortable, big, right? Makes a big statement. And, you know, as far as the aesthetics go, that would obviously be a matter of opinion. So what is your opinion on this one? Do not hesitate to leave a comment. But it is big, right? And so, like I said, my wrist is 8.5 inches. I'm on the last notch, and like seeing it on my wrist, it's a big boy, but it has, you know, this is like someone took a hockey puck and like, you know, got an orbital sander and went crazy, just, you know, chamfering the edges, right? And I think that's pretty cool. I do like the way it looks. I do not know if it matches my style, but maybe, you know, every once in a while you get like something that's a little bit iconoclastic, and this would be it, right? And I do think that these the screen protection, I do think is pretty cool, right? The lamprey eel teeth, these are indices, and also protect the domed glass, and it's just mineral glass. And if I can get some more concrete, I'll test it in the concrete. You know, I already tested the GW9500 in the concrete, and took a few scratches, right? This mineral glass took a few scratches, cost me $1,200 because someone was trying to buy this watch, didn't mind that it still has a concrete on it, but drew the line at scratches on the screen. Interesting. But this one, you know, how will this one hold up? Gentlemen, there's only one way to find out. It's a durability test that starts with the Watch Bopper 5000 and, you know, includes a lot of vocational testing. And one other thing that I want to say about the toughness of this watch is that I saw on the website that there's magnets that hold this minute hand in, so that if the watch is bumped, the minute hand will move, but will move back into place. Okay. So one of the challenges with analog watches when it comes to impact durability is that the hands can be knocked loose. And all of these Casio watches, you have the ability to adjust the hands. But I want to show you something pretty interesting. This is a Casio watch. This is the ProTrek, and it's coming out of power saving mode. And you will notice that the LCD subdial is displaying that it's 9 p.m. Right? Now, when you look at where these analog hands end up when it's done adjusting, okay, it says it's 12:30, right? Way off. So what happened is that just being in my G-Shock toolbox, these hands are inaccurate. They've been misaligned, and so there's a way that you have to go in through the settings and change the hands back to where they should be. You can calibrate them. Okay, so all G-Shocks, you know, they have that watch, that hand calibration. I've showed you on a few different ones, but this one may not need that. This one may have better impact resistance, and we're just going to test. I don't have the Watch Bopper 5000 in here. I'm in the man camp room right now. I kind of have to be quiet because I think some guys are trying to get some sleep. But let me just give this a good wallop with a closed fist and look at those. Look at the minute hand. May have to slow down the video. Did you guys see it move? All right, I think we're gonna have to get the Watch Bopper 5000 out and maybe some high rate film so we can see the minute hand wag and then go back into place. All right, but you did hear a lot of beeping, so I don't think that the button protection is great, because giving the watch some wallops, you're hearing the beep. Right, it's already on the stopwatch mode to prove it. All right, let me give it. Oh yeah, did you guys see that? Oh, I got an idea. We're just gonna hit it with a Mudman. To be careful, because these like this metal bezel and the metal screws, you know, could damage the watch, you know, right out of the box. All right, guys. Oh, whoa, there you go, there you go. All right, we got some good pendulum action going. Look at that. Minute hand just like flailing around wildly, but then going right back into place, right? Is it still showing the correct time? Well, it's not showing the correct time, but it's still calibrated. So the time of the watch is 11:11. And is it off? 11:01? It's hard to tell because it's not like an extremely precise instrument, but it looks like it should be pointing right where 11:01 is, right? So I'd say that's pretty good. I'd say that's a win. So the first tough test is right here in the unboxing, and it's you know, this hand has gone right back into place, right? But we've shown that the buttons may be too easy to press. They may be too prominent, right? But it has this whole vibe, right? That looks like, some people have called it a land or a sea mine. Some people have called it, you know, a thwomp from, you know, the dungeon. There's a lot of different nicknames for it, but these buttons, though nice, do seem to be a little bit proud, like for the whole G-Shock strategy of making buttons like difficult to accidentally press. And the Mudman GW9500 is the best in terms of protecting the buttons and allowing gloved button presses. So I use impact gloves and I'm still able to press all the buttons. They are well protected. But this one, you know, this bumper right here should protect it, but as you saw in my initial test, you can hear it. It's not that great, right? In terms of protecting the button, but style-wise, I mean, that's up to you to decide whether you like the style. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a stylish guy, but functionality-wise, I do like it just because of how sleek it is, and it's big, so it makes a statement. But I'd say it's a good one so far. A lot of tough tests coming up, but gentlemen, remember, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through him. I'm Jim Kincaid. Thanks for watching.